Hi there. A couple of people have asked me about my Hobbyking Bixler and how I went about assembling it to get the most performance out of the plane. And it's really simple. If you just build this according to the instructions, you'll have a nice flying plane anyway. But there are a few simple things that you can do to really increase the performance. Probably the first thing that I would do is to change out the propeller. The propeller that comes with the plane is a bit flimsy and not very efficient, so if you change it out to something that's stiffer and a bit better designed, you're going to increase the power significantly. I changed this to an APC 6x4E, and that seems to work very well for the plane. In the stock setup I got about 184 watts of power. When I changed it to this prop, I got 256 watts of power, so quite a significant increase in power, and it's very visible, and you can feel the difference when you fly. Another thing that you should do when you get the plane, if you want to use the bigger batteries, the 2200 milliamp hour batteries instead of the recommended 1300, is to take out the nose weight. They put a number of large washers into the tip of the nose for the plane to balance with a 1300 milliamp hour battery. But you can end up with the same weight plane and longer capacity with bigger batteries if you take this nose weight out. And to do that is really simple. It's glued in there with hot glue. That is a fairly low temperature hot glue, so if you just put hot water down into the nose, it loosens the glue, and you can just pull it out with a pair of tweezers or something of that nature. Another thing that you may want to do is to increase the length of the wires that go from the motor down to the speed control. The wires that come stock are just a little bit short, and it's very finicky and fiddly to get at them to attach the speed controller. So what I did was I just loosened the screws on the motor, pulled it out, and then inserted lengths of wire into the motor wires. And then to get it back out again, to get the wires back out again, I opened up the fuselage in the front there. So normally it's all just closed like this, a flat surface. So I just opened it up, and that made it easier to get at the wires to pull them back out. So very simple to do, but in the long run it probably saves you a bit of aggravation in trying to attach the speed control when you want to change something. Another thing that I think really makes a big difference to the plane is to stiffen up the fuselage. The fuselage in the stock form is just slightly flexy. It will flex a little bit if you give a lot of elevator stick movement. So to stop that, and to stop that mushiness that goes along with it, you can put a rod. I used, I think this is a 5 millimeter carbon fiber rod that I just glued into the groove that's on the bottom of the fuselage, and that stiffened it up very significantly, and it makes for a more aerobatic, nicer flying airplane. Another thing that you should probably do, people have reported that the control horns that comes with the stock airplane become brittle, and they will then break. So what I did was I just changed out the control horns for something that's a bit more durable. So it's probably a good idea to do that. And then the final thing is to find a way to attach the wings, to secure the wings to the fuselage. People use various methods. People have suggested putting hooks onto the wing, on the top or bottom, and then use rubber bands that go across. People have also used Velcro, kind of in the same way, that goes across from wing to wing. And I'm sure those methods work pretty well, but what I use is just high quality. I use a 3M packing tape, so use a high quality tape, and then just tape the wing roots to the fuselage. It's not something that is a permanent solution. You have to keep tabs on that. Over time the tape will loosen, and eventually the wing will work itself loose. So you have to keep tabs on it. You have to press it down, make sure that it's tight every time you fly, and every now and then you have to change the tape. But as long as you keep tabs on it, it's a very simple and easy thing to do, and it works for me. If you want a more permanent solution, then there are other ways to do that. And that's basically it. I just have to say I really love this plane. I take it with the field every time with me when I go flying. Even if I plan to fly something else for that day, I just throw this in as well. And I usually end up spending a significant amount of time flying this aeroplane because it's just so much fun and so versatile. So yeah, thanks Hobbyking. This is a really brilliant design. I love flying this plane.